Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world. Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Is This Real? As always, your host, Joe Caola, with the other second joke. Well, first, second, third, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I'm Junior, you're third.
Yeah, Junior, third. And we have an exciting episode this week. I know last week we told you guys about we're going to be doing UFO stuff. But to incorporate UFO and alien stuff is a wonderful place that we both wish to visit. It's the Skinwalker Ranch, and I believe it's in Utah, right, Dan?
Yeah, the northeastern corner of Utah in the I can never get this word right. The Utah Basin.
Utah. Yes. Skinwalker Ranch. That's a very history detail to it. Hotbed of paranormal activity and hotbed of extraterrestrial activity.
Yeah, back in the day, it was actually originally known as the Sherman Ranch, named after the man who owned it. It's 512 acres. It's southeast of Bellard, Utah, and it's reputedly it has getting away from the actual Skinwalker part of it, it's really a hotbed for UFO activity and some really weird shit that's going on there that no one seems to understand. You can't dig on the land because if you dig on the land, something bad happens. If you, there's videos of lights coming out of the ground. No one seems to be able to handle that. Your telephones, your
cell phones.
Your cell phones go crazy when you're out there in certain spots. Cattle mutilations, which is probably the weirdest part, that you're going to find out there because no one has been able to figure this out. When they say cattle mutilations, it's basically, the cattle will be found one day and then they'll find a dead cow or a dead steer completely drained of its blood. Its eye is missing and part of its snout is missing. And it looks like it was surgically done, and they look around and there's nothing there. A lot of radioactivity going on. It's a generally creepy place. It's really weird.
Oh, yeah. That land, though, to get onto the topic of Skinwalker. Skinwalker is it's a type of animal or
a shapeshifter.
Like a shapeshifter from the Navajo land, from the Navajo people, who that land was owned by once before.
Right. They cursed another tribe down, supposedly, let me get this right, they supposedly cursed another tribe, and there's a lot of crazy stories, and one of them most notably is, I don't know if anybody out there has actually saw the little series on history. It's The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch with Scott Travis. It's really, really a good show, and it's different from other shows. Now, I watch The Curse of Oak Island, and I've been following that for 7 seasons now. And it can get a little repetitious. They're actually showing you real stuff, and it's crazy. And one of the stories there was early on when the Shermans owned the ranch. When their first day on the ranch, they were standing there, and they noticed this giant coyote, or a coyote type of shaped animal, prancing over to it. And, the thing was huge. It didn't look like any other animal on that place. And what it was, it came up to him, it let it pet him. And then as it was walking back towards, going back into the pasture, it jumped all over a piece of cattle and started chewing on its snout, and they couldn't get rid of this thing. The rancher went out and got a gun, shot it. Didn't have any effect on it. Didn't move. Didn't do anything. And eventually they shot it, and it did. They shot it with a giant, whatever gun. Can't remember what it was, but they shot it enough that a piece of it came off. They picked it up, and they said it smelled terrible. They tracked it as far as they could, and then all of a sudden, the blood and everything else just disappeared. Legend has it that was probably, as they say, the Skinwalker. Skinwalker could be something that can come at you at any different form. It can come at you as a human. It can come at you as an animal, and it's actually supposed to be some kind of, I would say, demonic presence. It was brought on by the Navajos themselves. So, I mean, that's one of the really weird stuff. But to me, it's more the UFOs. It's more the UFO crap that's going on out there that now the government has got involved with. So they're now monitoring what's going on that ranch. So it's very strange.
Well, I mean, to get in that point, like, for Skinwalker, that shit's crazy because that's witchcraft. And witchcraft is so beyond... I know there's a lot of witches and Wiccans out there. And, not to shit on your whole culture or anything like that, but you're so close to, like, satanic rituals and Satanism, it's scary. And, like, again, I'm not trying to shit on any witches or Wiccans, because there are people out there that practice witchcraft and, don't really do anything harmful to people.
Right.
But for the Navajo people, they use a lot of witchcraft in their culture in general, and they curse that land.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is what you're getting for the curse, years later.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and if it is really what they say it is, then you got a bunch of different things going on there. You got that part of it, and then you got the UFO part of it, and then it makes it for like the paranormal Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna find whatever you want out there, and
to be so close to. I mean, it's far, but it's closer than we are. Like, to be so close to Area 51 too.
Well, it is close to Area 51, but it's really, let's get that right. It's not close to Area 51, but it is in the desert.
Yeah.
And out in the desert, there's so much stuff that can go on that no one sees, that no one knows about. So if this is something to do with the UFOs, if this is something to do with whether they're coming from underground or they're coming from the sky, the funny thing is, another part of this funny thing happened out there was when they had they couldn't figure out directionally where this a beam of radiation was coming from. Then they figured it out, it was coming from the sky. They couldn't understand why, so they sent a balloon with all these instruments on it. Well, the balloon got up to 5,000 feet, which is just under a mile, and then it disappeared. And along with all the other stuff that was on it, disappeared as well. They couldn't, and all the data just stopped recording. So they sent up another one, and again at 5,000 feet, it was stopped in its tracks, and that one came crashing to the ground, and they found it. And again, they found out there was no, after 5,000 feet, there was no data. But then very, early on, other than that, what happened was they had they spotted a UFO over the land. It was a giant metal shiny object, and it lingered there. Now, they're actually showing you this on this show, and that's where it really gets creepy, because what is that? Now, for 5 years, a man by the name of Bob Bigelow had bought the place, and he did his own experiments on the land. He tried to figure out what was going on, and some of he had some help from the government. They came in. That really didn't work out too well. They didn't really find much. And now Brandon Fugel, a real estate developer out of Utah, bought the place, and he's doing his own experiments. And the guy's got like an endless cash flow, this guy. So he can really, do very, very well. And a lot of the stuff, like I said, that they're showing you on the show, it's happening in real time. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what's really interesting about this. What is where is this stuff coming from? They can't dig on the land. I mean, there's a part, and I don't know if you saw it, but they went to dig on the land, and they couldn't get more than a foot down, a foot and a half down, and they were hitting some object that they couldn't penetrate, and they figured they'd stop because they don't know what they're up against. They wanted to go a little bit, measure the radiation, go a little bit more, but they couldn't get past a foot and a half.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a foot. It's like a football field long. So they didn't explore much of that because I guess they didn't have the time, or maybe they didn't want to go into it, or maybe the government told them knock it off. I don't know. But with the weird lights and that, and then at the end of the season, next to the very last show, they had a cattle mutilation where
like
it was
right in front of their eyes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it just literally happened right there. It was on camera, and then they look up above the camera, and there's a floating UFO.
Mm-hmm.
So that was never captured.
That was fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's really creepy. So, in my opinion, there's something definitely going on there now. Whether it's a base that we're doing with the aliens, or the aliens are doing on their own, and they're very good at deception, I don't know. And until now with NASA coming out and giving us all what they think, maybe we'll get to the bottom of this. Maybe we will. Then maybe this will be another whole point of let's hide this for another couple of years until we figure out what it is. Not sure.
I don't know. I mean, like, with NASA coming out with that, like, it's been swept under the rug since 2020 has been one of the most fucked up years that I've actually I've been alive for. But like, what pisses me off is you hear that UFOs are out. UFOs are real. We don't know what the hell it was.
Right.
I mean, that's why it's a UFO.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know if it's aliens. We don't know if it was another country's plane or anything like that. But like, the more you hear about shit going through like the media, and like, UFOs are here now. Like, I don't know what to believe. But like with this one, like, the more I see stuff on Skinwalker Ranch, the more I read up. There's a lot, a lot of like mysteries. Like, there's so much shit going on in this ranch.
Right. It's like, in other words, you're going to get a spin with people, whatever. You're going to get the news spin. You're going to get people spin. This is showing you in real time what they saw.
They have a live stream too on the ranch.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's not really updated a lot, but I was watching it one day, and fast forward to here, and there's like these bright lights that just come out of nowhere. And they got there's like a range there they call the Mesa. And a lot of this stuff is happening on the Mesa. They found a cave. They went into the cave, and Scott Travis, the scientist who's actually leading this investigation for Brandon Fugel, he started getting nauseous. And this guy's a scientist. He's not prone to acting, stupid or whatever. But he was getting nauseous. His watch stopped working. His telephone, I keep calling it telephone, but his cell phone kept going off.
You're showing your age.
Yeah, it kept going crazy. And I'll resent that remark. Anyway, we need to find out why. And hopefully this could be just the beginning of bringing it to a national conversation where we can all figure out what's going on there. Because there is some weird shit going on here, and we need to figure it out. And that's the UFO aspect of it. And then you go over, like we were doing before, the Navajo / witchcraft, whatever, the Skinwalker part of it, where these things are basically shapeshifters and they can appear wherever they want to appear and however they want to appear. And this part of it is basically up in Utah. Then it goes down to Arizona, where you have the Skinwalker Valley, where Ghost Adventures went. Now, as far as watching the show and being crazy and taking risks, I don't think anybody takes more risks than Zach Bagans.
He's a fucking nutcase.
I think he's just, I don't know. Maybe he's just waiting for somebody to pick him up and take him to hell. I don't know.
He's a nutcase.
Yeah, what they did on that episode still scares the shit out of me.
Well, exactly. What they did was they went into the desert at night.
Mm-hmm.
And they went into this one cave that apparently witchcraft has been used in.
Right.
You wouldn't find me dead in the desert at night. I'm not going towards the desert whatsoever. Like, I barely want to go to the desert during the daytime. Like, I'm not. That's not me. That's not my site.
Not me. I want to go to the desert. Not at night. Not at night. But I would love to go to the desert. And even if it was at night, in a safe location, not hunting down shit that you don't know about. I mean, I wouldn't mind spending time in a cabin in the middle of the desert.
Nope.
Where doors
It's just
are
like in the
locked.
middle of the woods. I'm fine.
Yeah, well, I can understand that because I wouldn't go in the woods, in the daytime, let alone at night. But yeah, no, that's a strange place. And Scott, Zach Bagans, I think he's a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic.
I do want to go to his museum though.
Where's that at?
It's in Vegas.
Oh, he put a haunted museum?
Yeah, he has a haunted museum. You know what he has? And again, this is getting off the subject of UFOs, but I want to plug it because I really want to, all right, so he has the original chair that was apparently it was a chair used in the one case for and Lorraine Warren. And he has it blessed almost every week. And apparently it was like they did the exorcism in this rocking chair. And he bought it.
Why the fuck would you buy it?
To have in his haunted museum.
What's wrong with him? Has he got a brain in his head? What's wrong with him?
I don't know, but I kind of want to go to this museum. But at the same time, there is video. Apparently something happened when he debuted this item.
Right.
Somebody got lightheaded and fainted in the room.
That could be a million things, though, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be, your expectation level could be up. You're looking to see something, you get scared. Who knows? We don't have proof of that. No one has any evidence of that.
But yeah.
But why the fuck would you keep something like that anyway? That makes them think like the Ed and Lorraine Warren kept that stupid doll, the Annabelle doll.
I want to know what the fuck that is.
Why the fuck would you keep that?
Well, he had it blessed almost every week. Oh, we're getting off the subject anyway.
Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch. It's like I said, the amount of paranormal shit that goes on here is ridiculous, and I honestly think, and just to be the conspiracy theorist person, I think there's bunkers under that ranch.
I agree with you. I do,
and I think there's a hub of government activity going on behind under there.
Well, at the end, the last episode basically was a wrap up, and Scott Travis, who does have ties to the government and some agencies, actually admitted that the government was analyzing what's going on. They're keeping an eye on it. And even in the next to the last episode, when they saw that cattle being mutilated, there was helicopters flying all over the property while they're standing there. And they have, ways on that thing to find out where it's going through using the transponder technology. And the transponders were all turned off, as if to say, you're not going to find out what we're doing or where we're from. Now, having said that, it begs the question, if the government is doing something out there, are these stories about tunnels in the desert correct?
Oh, I believe it.
There's tunnels all over. I mean, there's stories of tunnels that go down to Arizona from Area 51. There's stories of tunnels that go from Area 51.
You're talking about thousands and thousands of miles of tunnels. So.
It doesn't matter. These are tunnels that have been built so deep in the ground. There's nothing. I'm sorry, but you got out there. Just look out there. You got Area 51 that nobody knows anything about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They say it's shaped like an ice cream cone, an upside down ice cream cone. Where at the top you got just a little area, and then underneath it breaks down like 7 or 8 layers, and it gets wider. And they have experiments going on there. There's a hub for UFO activity down there. Nobody knows, and I'm not going to sit here and say I know because I don't have a fucking clue. But you have that there. Then over in Utah, which is 800 miles away, 900, whatever, you have this going on that nobody seems to know what's going on, and it seems to be emanating from underground.
And it's the desert.
Now, you also have, if you go into Colorado, you got to ask yourself, why did the Denver International Airport was perfect. They didn't have to redo it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But they chose to do another one and they made what's that other one? I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
No, I don't know.
This one they made this one. It ran over budget, over time, millions and millions of dollars over budget, and they don't understand. They people are saying that there's tunnels under that. A lot of rumor going on that this is where the new seat of the U.S. government's going to be in the future, because it's secretive. You can do a lot of things out there, under the
desert is a scary fucking place in general.
Right, and if this is the case, then there's got to be something to it.
Well, you also have stuff that happened in New Mexico with Roswell, all that stuff, the Men in Black. It's a very broad subject when you talk about the desert.
Right.
But, I believe, you have Area 51. Nobody knows what the fuck's happened in Area 51. But with Skinwalker, with the ranch,
mm-hmm.
I think that's like the playground where they're going to test all this shit out.
It's possible. I mean, until they get to the
you're talking about 60 years worth of experiences for people. And 60 years worth of cattle mutilations, whatever the fuck you want to call that.
Right.
There's so much that goes on in Skinwalker Ranch that we probably don't even know about just yet.
Just a point of correcting myself here. I must be a little exhausted because I'm not really getting all my facts straight.
Well, it's also very hot in here, too.
Yeah, the Denver International Airport's what is going on now. That's the one that's over cost, over budget, with these creepy murals. Stapleton was the airport in Denver that was running fine. There was no reason to replace it, but somehow they decided that they needed to replace this. And again, Denver, if you go into Denver International Airport, they got some of the creepiest murals there that you're ever going to see. Stormtroopers with guns, babies set on fire, kids crying, people looking like Nazis. Why would you need that in an airport? What is that about? What is somebody out there have an answer for that? This is not just your ordinary run-of-the-mill art.
Well, you want to talk about Denver is also on a mountain too, so you have the depth of a mountain to go deep into.
Oh yeah, I mean, and don't forget that's
from there to sea level.
Right, that's where we have a lot of our military is out that way. The one big mountain they got out there. So again, these are all connected. Why are they connected? There's got to be a reason. So I personally believe, and again, I can't prove this. I don't have maps or whatever, but the amount of stuff that's out there, I believe that we are in contact with extraterrestrials. I believe that we are harboring them. I believe that somewhere along the line, either we're superior to them in some technology, so we're allowed to keep them and work, trying to reverse engineering some of the stuff and shipping it around.
I have two explanations that I believe are true. Not true, but like could be true if you really want to think about it.
All right.
One is that these aliens, UFOs, whatever what you want to call them, I don't know if they're in contact with us or like we're working. We may have these alien things that are like implanted in Area 51 and underground these things, but like I don't think we have actual like living aliens or extraterrestrials, because aliens these days is a different word.
Right.
Extraterrestrials just walking around Area 51 like you see in the Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is it. I think it's more of like we have the crashed UFOs and we have the dead extraterrestrials or whatever the hell were in those UFOs.
Right.
And they're experimenting, but it's too scary or too much information for the public to know.
Well, yeah. Why is it? I mean, what are they afraid of? Are they afraid that we're going to freak out or something?
Probably.
I want to know, because I think it's just going to better. A lot of people love. Oh, I love technology. I love technology. Well, this would be a perfect opportunity to further technology, wouldn't it? I mean,
but here's the point: how much further? Not that we can further technology and to progress as a society. technology has progressed. I get that. Mm-hmm. But you're talking about technology that is so progressed to the point that we are right now.
Right.
That it shouldn't. I believe we would run with it and destroy it.
That's not saying a lot about human race.
That's
like saying, we get our hands on anything and we can corrupt it.
Look at what the world's come to, Dad.
You're right. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. But I want to know, if there is something out there. And I got a little hope now because NASA's releasing more and more stuff. And if they're watching what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I hate when people say, more and more stuff. NASA's releasing UFO videos. They're releasing videos of unidentified flying objects.
Right.
They're not releasing. It's not saying, oh, we're releasing videos of aliens or we're releasing videos of extraterrestrials. There's a difference because, again, like I said, that could be a fucking balloon flying. You know what I mean?
You're right. But I think maybe they're trying to ease us into something. I'm just trying to be I'm an optimist here.
I'm not an optimist.
I'm
hoping, a pessimist.
I'm hoping that they're trying to ease us slowly, after so many years of denying this existed.
Why now, though?
That's my point. My point could be very simple. You could look at it two ways. You could look at it like, you know what? We need another boogeyman. We need another somebody to blame our ills on. We had Osama bin Laden. He was our boogeyman. That's a bullshit story from the beginning. That's another story. I'm not going to get to that. Okay. You had anybody that gets in their way becomes a boogeyman. It's ridiculous.
So what, you're trying to say that we're going to become Independence Day and all of us are going to...
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is...
take up arms to fight the aliens coming to attack our world?
Well, yeah, it could be like, well, you know what? This happened because the aliens did it. It's somewhere. But again, if you sit there and you can say that, look how many people believe what they're told in this country. Think about that, Joe. You can believe anything you want in this country. And people do a lot of... Nobody fact checks anymore. The people that fact checked are the people that are fact checking are the people that are putting it on the internet.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. I'm not going to have somebody fact check anything for me. I'm going to fact check it myself. And that's what I mean. They can get away with saying whatever they want. If they want to turn around and say, you know what, the aliens shot something in New York City today and killed 10,000 people, but realistically they did it themselves, well, then they can blame it on some asshole's going to go, they said that. The news said it, so I'm going to believe it. Or the government said it.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I think if that was the case, and if you want to take a look at aliens, or again, extraterrestrials, if extraterrestrials are coming to Earth,
right,
and our government is in contact with them and know about it, or any government, whatever you want to talk about,
right.
Again, the technology would be so far advanced because if you look at what technology is, you're talking about a spaceship that flies in space. Like, we have spaceships, but you're talking about a spaceship that goes miles and miles, and you're talking about light years. We, again, don't have that technology.
Right.
Now, it could be that these, if we did, then why haven't we had somebody go to Mars?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win, see you. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
I couldn't answer that. I don't know. Again, I have no idea.
We're getting more and more pictures of, I don't know, NASA just released the other day a nice fluid picture of, I believe it was Jupiter. It was a high-resolution, high HD picture of Jupiter.
Right.
And it's a gas planet So you just saw gas. There's no land, no nothing. But that was, pretty fucking cool. But again, I think if we have technology from these extraterrestrials and we're in contact with them,
right,
we, as the exploratory people that we are coming into age, we would have sent somebody to Mars already.
So do you believe that they're aliens, or don't you?
I believe that they're dead and we're trying to work on what their technology is.
Right.
We just haven't figured it out.
Okay.
But
you do believe? Do you believe that we're actually having visitors to this planet?
Oh yeah.
Out of curiosity, what's going on?
Again, you have to be very naive and very fucking stupid to think that we're the only living beings in the galaxy,
right?
Or in this universe.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
You're talking about hundreds of thousands of millions of galaxies and over a billion planets. You have to be the most naive piece of shit in the world to think, well, God just wanted this planet. You know how many third planets of the sun there are?
No.
A lot. There's a lot. And if you want to say, Earth is the perfect planet for living beings to have because of how it is towards the sun.
Right.
And, there's so many suns out there. There's so many third planets of the sun that have the exact same distance between their sun and their planet.
Right.
You gotta be so naive to think. Now that goes into a whole different theory about different universes, and apparently NASA came out the other day and said that they have evidence of a different universe, like a different like a multiverse.
Did they publish this?
Yes, it was a published thing. But
did they explain to you where it is?
No, they did not.
Theory.
It's a theory, but apparently there's proven theory. Again, I didn't read the whole full thing.
Right.
But, when it comes to shit like extraterrestrials and aliens and Skinwalker, I believe more that there's, I believe there's a hub of government shit on Skinwalker.
Right.
But, I don't know, for some reason, I believe more the shit that's happening on Skinwalker Ranch is more have to do with the land being cursed.
So basically, all right. So, all right. I can't argue with you
because I don't know. As far as the cattle mutil, I can't get that the dying
cattle
fucking cows.
Mutilations.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
That yeah, okay. Aliens could do that.
Right.
But what the fuck's the point? Oh, we're gonna kill cow.
Maybe they're testing this. They're testing this creature that they see breathing and walking and eating and shitting. Maybe they're testing that creature to find out the DNA as far as what this makeup of this land is about. What is this planet that they're visiting? What do they got? What can they garner from that? They need to know. They're not going to come down here and then or come over here to this planet and just go by, oh, look at that. There's a street light. There's, look at that.
Well, no, I get that, but it would be more like if I'm an extraterrestrial, I'm not going to be interested. Like, okay, I'll be interested in every living, breathing thing on that planet.
Right.
But the ones that will make me more interested, the people or the things that are walking around, talking, controlling things, the dominant species, knowing that you have more technology than they ever will in their lifetime.
Right.
I'm going to take these people over a fucking four-legged cow.
Yeah, I'll. But then again, you got to look at all the people that have said that they've been kidnapped by these things, alien abductions. One of the best movies ever made. I can never remember the actor's name. Cowbell. What the hell's his name?
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. Communion. That is a great. That's
never actually saw the movie.
That's a great. It's based on Whitley Strieber. He's the guy who wrote the book, and if you ever see the movie, it's all about how these UFOs or these alien spaceships keep coming back to visit them, and it's really, really. It makes you think. It's laced with some. Of course, it's a Hollywood production.
Yeah.
It's laced with some. They try to get some horror in there, but it's really not horror. It's some comedy. When he slaps five with the alien, I thought it was funny as hell.
it's as far as like I think it's more of a like if you want to talk about aliens and stuff like that, it's more of a general. The desert is fucked up, and I think also it could play tricks on people because you're talking about the desert at night.
Right.
There's no what's that phrase? No city lights.
Nothing out there.
So you see everything in the sky.
Right.
You don't know what the fuck you're looking at.
Well, trained eye
and if
would.
you see something move,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be like, huh.
Well, that's all over the Skinwalker Ranch. There's, like you said, it's the middle of the desert, so there's a ton, and I mean a ton.
Yeah, now as far as the lights streaming from the ground, I have no idea what the fuck.
Well, they can't figure that out. That's part of the investigation. They haven't gotten that far yet.
No, have they gone to the exact spot where they know the light is coming out of the ground?
No, they have not, because it changes all the time. They can't seem to pinpoint where it's coming from. Like, they'll be out there and they won't see it. They'll have a.
So you're saying it's basically like if to the naked eye, they don't see anything. But they only see it on like
video camera,
night vision shit, right?
They'll sit there and then all of a sudden there it is, and sometimes it'll be two of them, and it'll come straight out of the ground. Did you ever see the lights over in Manhattan?
Yeah,
of Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, those you could see with a naked eye, though.
Right. These are the same thing, but they can't see it with the naked eye. And
so basically, what they are like how you have the night cameras,
right?
The night vision cameras, and you have those UV lights.
Yes.
So basically, that's what it is. UV lights.
It's coming. Yeah, that's exactly
from the ground.
Yep. And no one can seem to understand, like, where it's coming from because it's always off in the distance. And then one guy even asked Scott Travis, I'm sorry, because he's new to that area, and he asked the guys that were on the land. He said, could it be that maybe there's like a used car sales place on the other side of the thing, and they in fact
so it's coming over over the mountain,
over the mesa, yeah,
the mesa,
and they couldn't. No, there's nothing there. And then you go up on top of the mesa and you look over, and there is nothing there. It's vast desert, and you can't get on this ranch. There's no place for you to go. It's not like they're selling tickets to go see this stuff. I mean, George Knapp from Coast to Coast went there to spend a night there, with a bunch of other people. And what they did was they left them in one little section. They have three spots that really are, they have Homestead 1, Homestead 2, which is in the middle, and they have Homestead 3, which is more towards the end of the, towards the western part. And all the activity seems to come from Homestead 2. Disembodied voices, the creepy feelings of what might be looking at you. But again, you're in the middle of the desert. You're going to get creepy feelings. Well,
you're not going to get disembodied voices, though.
Well, that's true. And some of these voices were caught on tape. They did catch it. So, where are they coming from? That goes back to the Navajo part of it. That goes back to the, the witchcraft or the ghosts or the, can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but that's
Skinwalker.
No, paranormal.
Oh yeah,
part of it. And that's the problem here. You got paranormal, and then you have the UFO part, and you mix those two together, and you don't know what the fuck you got. You're just like in the middle of you're standing there going, somebody want to help me here? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I mean, I got a ghost over here. I got a UFO over here. What's so special about this land? So that's what the whole thing with Skinwalker does. It's just again, it's a paranormal Disneyland. You don't know what's going to happen at any time. People are getting sick on the land. You dig on the land, they get sick. One of the guards, or the ranch manager, had to get rushed to the hospital twice because he had a lump in the back of his head and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And the doctors couldn't figure it out. So there's something there. Just what it is, I have no idea. And that's what makes it the craziness of Skinwalker Ranch. And I, honest to God, I hope somehow that history and Prometheus Entertainment will give us a season 2.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
I mean,
too.
we got 7 seasons of, The Curse of Oak Island. I want season 2 of Skinwalker. Hey, easy with that. Hey, you know what? When they find something there, I don't want to hear you doing that.
Yeah, they've been saying that for 7 years.
Joe, explain. All right, so I'm going to go off of Skinwalker a minute. Now,
No.
I want to question you. You're telling me that.
We got 20 minutes left. I don't want to spend it talking about that fucking show.
How? Well, then, you know what? This is part of weirdness. How do you get at 221 feet deep on an island? How do you get gold chain? How do they dig up gold chain? Pieces of parchment, bones, not human bones, from Eastern Europe.
History.
For just like he's shaking his head, folks. He doesn't know.
It's history. It's not. First of all, it's nothing. Look, go deep. You start digging deep into any fucking land, you're going to find shit.
Bones of Middle Eastern people at 221 feet. You didn't even have the technology to dig that deep back in the 70s and dated back to the 1700s or 1500s. How's that possible?
Dad, how did they make the Egyptian pyramids?
Answer my question. How is it possible?
I don't know. People have found shit to do.
So we're going to dig 221 feet down because, one day we had nothing to do.
First of all,
with shovels and pitchforks.
First of all, you don't know how deep the land was back 400, 500 years ago.
What does that mean?
First of all, if you know anything about geography, I believe with over time and shit builds up on top of each other. Okay. So you have more land now than you did 500 years ago.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history. We also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
I would believe that to a point, but in the 1700s, a slave migrated to that thing. His name was Samuel Ball. Okay, so now you got the 1700s, and the foundation for his buildings are still there. There was nothing piled on top of them. For something to go 21 feet deep, you need 1 million years, maybe more.
I don't know.
A few hundred years, something's wrong. Somebody buried something on that island, and they're every year they're finding a little bit more.
People have been burying things for history.
The technology is getting there, so now they're helping themselves each year with something different. Can it get boring? Yes. Because you got some shows that make no sense.
Can we get back to
to Skinwalker Ranch? Yes. I want to find out what's buried in the meadow of Skinwalker Ranch. It's 1 foot to 1.5 foot deep. They can't penetrate it with anything. I want to find out what's going on. That's why I want a season 2. I want to know what's there.
Well, they have to look. If they can't penetrate the actual object, they have to dig around it.
Right, but the problem with that is every time they do, something happens. They went there.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Well, how do you if you can't get any engines on the diesel engines to work on these? Do we get guys with pitchforks again digging it up? You need.
Oh, if you really want to get it out, yeah.
Well, then who's going to hire that? Somebody's going to hire that. And who's going to be brave enough to do it? It could be me.
You'll have people who'll sit. You'll have crazy motherfuckers who'll sit there and go, "Yep, let's get this done."
Maybe you might be right.
I want to know what's under here. If somebody wants to really know what's under there, they'll dig it up.
Okay, that's fine. But when they start digging it up and something happens to these people, then what do you do then? Replace them with goats?
Well, no. At that point, you know something's going on.
But what? It's always going to be the what factor. What is going on there?
Keep fucking going.
So, well, if you can. And right now, they're finding it hard because, like, when you dig, there's a problem all the time. So that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, like I said, the desert in general is weird. And I know I've been saying it this whole fucking episode, but there's so much out in the desert that nobody knows or realizes is going on.
Right.
And it's not just like alien shit, it's governmental shit too. It's such a strange place. Like you said, we really don't know how deep tunnels are and how, what in those mountains, those mazes, is there.
Right.
Because I guarantee there's some type of mountain bases and shit that people don't know actually exists.
Well, that's good. That's what you want. And as a citizen of the United States, I don't want to broadcast where these things are.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I don't want to know in the Cheyenne Mountains. It's bad enough I know exactly where it is. Where
Area 51
NORAD is. Yeah. I mean, I know where Area 51 is. You can go right to the gates of Area 51. But again, all I want from them is, I just want to know, if you're going to start disclosing this alien stuff, then if there is something on Skinwalker Ranch, let us know about it. And let us know what's in Area 51. My tax dollars are paying for this.
I don't know about it. Like, I think with Area 51, it goes deeper. I definitely would like to know what the fuck's going on Skinwalker Ranch. But, see, with like we've been saying, Skinwalker Ranch is a double-sided coin because you don't know if it's just UFOs or the Navajo witch shit.
Yeah. I don't know if the government's so concerned about the Navajo stuff.
No, I don't think that the government has anything to do with the Navajo shit. I think it's more of we have to find either like a priest to bless the fucking land, or figure out if this thing is actually true. Now, again, skinwalkers go into that whole mystical animal. It goes right in with the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoots of the world. Yeah. So, like, it's such a vast subject with cryptics because you don't know what's real or what's not.
Right. No, I agree. I just want some answers. I love the show. I love the fact that there could be something out there. I love the fact that there could be tunnels to Area 51. I love the fact that there could be tunnels to the northeast. I love it in the high-speed rail systems. I love all that stuff, and I'd like to know at some point. Just tell us, look, this is what's going on. We are in contact. We have the proof. I would feel better because then I would say, well, then I don't have to worry about our country being attacked by another country on this planet because their technology, we're siphoning off of their technology.
Well, you don't know if other countries have.
Well, you don't.
An Area 51 too.
You don't. I mean,
like, do you honestly believe Russia don't have, with the amount of extraterrestrial activity that happens in Russia? Now, I see videos every day of something that's flying in from outer space from Russia. Mm-hmm. There has to be something out there.
Well,
like Russia got fucking hit by that. I mean, again, it's just a meteor, but Russia got hit by that meteor a couple of years ago,
right?
And almost took out this entire fucking land. Like, there's so much shit going on over by Russia, and it goes to that north part. I think there's a lot of things happening northern than there are by the equator. For some reason, I just don't know why.
Because it's a quieter area. It's more vast. There's more to explore. There's more place to hide. When you can hide something in plain sight, people aren't going to look for it. They're going to think they do. Look how many people on YouTube are going out in the desert just looking for shit. I mean, you got people that are actually finding tunnels with working elevators that go down who knows how deep because they have never been able to get to the bottom of it.
Well, I won't.
No, I mean, these are people that they love to explore. And these are, and it's right around the Denver area. Or, it's right around the Area 51 area that you can access yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? So what's down there? Do you think the government would actually allow people to be digging down there?
It could be unused shit.
Right. They could be hiding stuff there. Now, I believe that if the government had something there and they're actually allowing these tunnels to still exist, that's also a problem. Why did they walk away? The government's very good at that. They're done with something, they walk away. They're done with it, they don't want to know about it. We got that right up here in Wayne when we used to have the Minuteman missiles on top of the road up there.
I don't think it's more of like it's a problem that they just walk away. I mean, it is a problem that they just walk away, but they don't leave shit behind.
Right. Well, let's seal it up. They'll seal it up, they'll concrete it up, and then they'll say, doesn't exist anymore. It never was there. When in reality, I mean, they're not going to leave live missiles, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're going to leave. They'll leave
silos,
and they'll leave. Look how many of them the people actually are finding and buying from the U.S. government for pennies on a dollar and making bunkers out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these things they're real. They exist. So I don't put it past the government to just walk away from something. Hopefully nobody will find it. But then again, these explorers are finding it. They're going into these caves.
Yeah.
They're finding what's going on. They're finding these different things. Now, they could be mines. They could be silver mines, gold mines from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
But the elevators and stuff like that, how would they be going down that deep? These are modern, more modern than they would be back in the 1800s. So, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, in my personal opinion, I think there's something going on there. I think there's
like I said, there's definitely, I believe too that there's something going on in the desert, and I don't know. I think that will be hopefully figured out in the next couple of years to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, that's all of our time today. Next week, Dad, this is one episode. We'll give you a little preview. We have a couple minutes to talk about. Next week is going to be not a difficult episode, but one that a lot of people have opinions on.
Right.
We'll be talking about the Sandy Hook school shooting. Now, again, it's an offbeat of alien stuff like that, but this comes into more conspiracy theory stuff like that.
Which we are going to talk. We'll talk about a conspiracy theory too.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about a couple things with the Sandy Hook school shooting. Now, again, just a preference for next week. This is just us talking about conspiracy theory stuff. Not that we personally believe it. Not that I mean, we could believe some of the stuff. I'm not saying all of it, but this is just what we're gonna.
There's a lot of stuff out there that doesn't add up, and that's not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know for a fact. I don't. But I'm going to offer some questions, and maybe somebody can actually rationally answer them, because they've never been answered. And I'm not trying to diminish the people that were killed or weren't killed or whatever. I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to I'm asking some questions.
Yeah.
That need to be answered, and they haven't been answered yet. And I like some answers. That's all.
Yep. All right, so that's all we got today for Is This Real podcast. Good episode, Dad.
Yeah, back at you, Joe.
I'll see you next week, Dad.
All right.